Hey everybody, what's up? It's Rachel here. Today we're going to look at a client of mine with some invasive fungus. So stay tuned. This gentleman has been dealing with fungus for quite a while. We have him on a regimen of coming in for a pedicure once every 6 weeks or so. And I do a lot to file back his nails and trim them as low as I can. As you can see, my camcorder isn't focused sharply, even though it looked like it whenever I was recording. So yeah, real sorry about that. My camcorder says it's set to 5K, but it doesn't look any different when I set it to 1080. So I can't zoom in or else the quality of the video degrades. So the camcorder has to be like a certain distance away to have a sharp focus, unless I'm doing something really wrong, because I don't really know much about camcorders and can't figure it out. So it's a brand new camcorder, got great reviews, so I'm very frustrated, as you can imagine. So this foot, I don't tend to spend a lot of time on this foot with the video because of its quality, but I wanted to just let you see the process in bits and pieces. So right now all I'm doing is trimming away the excess free edge and any thickness that I think I can trim away before I debulk the nail and try and remove more of the affected toenail. One other thing that is kind of different with his presentation is his nail bed is attached pretty high up. The nail itself isn't really lifted all that much, except maybe on the greater toenails along the sides. And so when I'm trimming the nails, I have to be very, very careful not to hit his hyponychium because I don't want to cut him and have him bleed. And I also don't take him down as thin as I maybe do for other clients because of the way the nail is crumbling, and it almost looks like it's part of the nail bed, but it's still nail. It's kind of interesting. So I don't want to go too thin with it because I could hit a capillary and have him bleed there, or it could be painful. So it's an interesting kind of dichotomy. It's fungal, but there's still nail, and it's tough to know exactly how much to take away. So I just play it a little bit more conservatively with him. So with this side, you can see a lot more detail right now. I think it does degrade a little bit over time. Again, I don't know why. So forgive me while I try and figure this out still. I thought I'd have it figured out by now, but it is what it is. So here we are. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Rachel. I work in Leesburg, Virginia. I own a nail studio called Revive Nail Studio, and I've been doing nails for many, many years. I've got my nail license back in 2002 or 3, I can't remember. And then I took a little hiatus, went back to school, and became a physical therapist. Did that for a few years, and then I opened my studio in 2016 and been doing nails ever since. I focus in on healing the natural nail using non-toxic and organic or natural ingredients and products. So a lot of the products that I use, I make myself because it's hard to find those type of products on the market that are also effective. And the ones I do buy are very, very clean products. So I'm proud of that. And a lot of my clients have a lot of, you know, sensitivities and autoimmune disorders and chronic illnesses. And so they come to me because they know they can trust me to not increase their toxic load. I do start my pedicures off dry usually. Sometimes I don't, but typically I start them off dry and I trim away excess nail and work on their cuticles dry, just because that's what I prefer. I find that it works a little bit better than if they are soaking when working on the cuticles, because the e-file can grab the skin and tear it a little bit if you hit it. And when the skin's dry, it's a little bit more resistant to tears. And so it's just easy to buff away the dry skin and the cuticle a little bit better when it's actually dry. But the soaking part does come along. I have them soak for a good 10-15 minutes on each side, so that it softens up all of the debris underneath the nail, and I can clean it out a lot deeper once they are out of the water. As you can see on this big toenail, he has some lifting along the corners here, and it goes down deep on the side walls as well. And there's like excess hardened skin underneath the nail, as well as just fungal brittle nail. So I keep trying to make sure that I'm getting all of that, or as much as I can right now, cleaned out or cut off before I put him into the water. I didn't show this on the other side because it was super blurry. So this is what I did after I pushed back the cuticles on the other side too. The first bit I'm using is Erica's ATA's carbide tapered barrel bit with a safety top. And this is a really nice bit for reducing thickness. No one's ever complained about there being any kind of heat buildup. I move pretty quickly. I do smaller strokes so it doesn't build up, and I only really use it on the thicker nails. So right here on the thinner nails, I'm just using it to remove the cuticle that's accrued along the proximal edge of the nail, and maybe taking a little bit down if it is a little thicker, which the only non-fungal nail on this toe or on this foot is the fourth toe. So you'll see me using this bit on all of the nails except for that fourth toe. And yeah, it's really great. The safety top is perfect for diabetics or just anybody really, because it's smooth on the top. As you run it along the edge of the nail, it'll hit the skin and it won't tear it. If you are interested in getting any of the bits that I am mentioning during my video today, there is a link in the description box where you can go to purchase them, and you can use code REVIVE10 to get 10% off. If you look at the great toenail, you can see that whitish line that goes horizontally across the middle of the nail. That's actually a big divot in the nail where there was some trauma, which obviously he can't recall. Most people don't remember what they do, but there was some sort of trauma that happened to create this divot. And so you'll see me whenever I'm smoothing out the nail, kind of trying to go over that area to smooth it out. It is quite deep, so I don't get it fully because I don't want to really thin the nail out that much. If you're a nail tech who is interested in learning more about how to work on clients with fungal toenails or athlete's foot, I am creating an online course to discuss just that. And this is a course you will not have taken anything like this course in your history of all courses for continuing education when it comes to nails. I tend to be a little bit more of a dweeb when it comes to science. So there's going to be all kinds of references, all kinds of science talk, all kinds of information that maybe you don't even want to know, but I'm going to tell you. So that you can be the most credible nail technician in your area, possibly the state. Because once you establish yourself as somebody with great education, people will flock to you. So go into the description box, get on my wait list, and I will email out information to you whenever I am ready to launch the course. It is not quite ready yet. I'm still working on a couple of last little changes and edits. So I hope to have it out by the end of the year. Because if it looks like the foot shaking, it's actually not the foot, it's my body underneath the foot. I got a new chair. It's like one of those Medi Spa chairs. And so his foot is just kind of hanging in air. And I'm sitting directly underneath his foot. He's lifted up really tall. And so when I'm filing, you'll see the rest of my body sort of going side to side. So he's actually quite still. All right, so at this point, I've put the feet into a foot bath, and now his foot is resting on the rim of the foot bath after he's soaked for a few minutes. I just did put a little bit of extra cuticle and callus softener on his toes to help the process of dissolving some of that dead skin. Right now I'm using the double-sided ingrown toenail rasp. And I'm using the teeth on the rasp to pull off any affected toenail that's crumbling, that isn't really keratinized. that may be just ready to come off really easy because it's super loose. And then I use the curved edge of the rasp to get up underneath the free edge a little bit to remove some debris there. Now on his toe right here, it looks like it's lifted, but it's really not. The infection is actually kind of coming in from the top down. It hasn't quite gotten to the lowest layers of the nail yet. So I can't get the rasp underneath the nail any further than it is cut right here. So it's deceiving to look at because it looks like it's lifted, but it's not. So you can see I'm going in from the top of the nail plate down into the nail to try and trim away some of that affected nail, because we do want whatever topical he's using to penetrate into the nail plate further. And if the nail is fully keratinized on the top layer, then it's not going to penetrate. So this is just one way of getting past that keratinized layer. Okay, so this is my newest favorite bit. It's called the soft flame. It's like an elongated football shape with a rounded tip. It doesn't have a point like a regular like a Russian flame bit would. So it's not going to like puncture the skin or anything like that. And I like it better than the nib bit, although the nib bit does a good job too. It just has a larger surface area, so it kind of gets the work done a little bit faster. And I just find it easier to handle. I'm going to use this bit to clean out some of the sidewalls along the cuticle edge and also along the tops of the nail. I'll remove some of the, fraying nail that is still left behind to try and smooth it. This tool is the sidewall lifter. It comes with the ingrown toenail rasp in a kit that I love. Also in my description box, you'll find a link for that. These guys just have great feel. They're not sharp, and they do a great job and last really well. So this guy has a little scoop on the end that makes it so easy to go up underneath the nail along the sidewalls as well as the free edge to clean out all this debris that gets collected underneath there. In this corner underneath the sidewall, I could feel when I was dragging this sidewall lifter up underneath there that there was something catching underneath there. So I'm trying to get up down the sidewall as much as I can where the lifted nail is, but now I can see that there's like a spicule left up in there. So I'm gonna have to go back in several times here to make sure that I pull it out, because we don't want any leftover nail spike growing into his skin and causing ingrown nails. I know the area looks a little pink and inflamed, but I was checking in with the client continually to make sure that he was not in pain. And I was being pretty gentle actually. So that redness I don't think was from me digging around, because I think it was from the pressure of the nail originally. But either way, wanted to keep checking in with him, make sure he was doing fine, and he was. He had no pain while I was performing any of this. This gentleman also has a mild to moderate case of athlete's foot that you can see by the peeling on his toes, and there's some peeling in between the toes as well. There's some thickness at the ball of the foot, along with like a circular peeling pattern that is pretty indicative of an athlete foot infection. And you'll see the circles in just a few seconds as I'm filing the ball of the foot. So you'll be able to see just like random circles on the ball of the foot there. And that's how the fungus grows. They have like a center, and then they have these tentacles that stretch out in a circular pattern, and it eats away the dead skin that sits on top of the foot. And so that's why it peels like that. And so one of the things that we always talk about with people with athlete's foot is that it's really important to exfoliate the feet at least once a week using a foot file that you can then either a peel and stick foot file like I'm using here, or one that you can sanitize and disinfect at home so that you're not recontaminating yourself. They have the peel and stick things on Amazon, and you get like 50 replacement pads, I think 25 or 50, I can't remember. So that's a good amount of pads, and it's really easy to just throw it away when it's done. You don't have to worry about disinfecting anything. And so after I'm done foot filing, I like to come back with the e-file on certain areas where the skin just was being very resistant to removal, and try and refine the area so it's not looking like so peely still, and sort of remove that dead skin that is the food source for the fungus. I can't recall which bit this is. It's either the spear bit or the shield. I think it's a spear bit. And it's just a diamond bit, and I'm using it kind of like in a quick pattern all over the foot so that there isn't a development of heat spikes up underneath the bit itself, so it's comfortable for the client, and just going in all different directions so that I can get the peeling skin from whatever direction it needs to be removed. What isn't shown then after I'm done with this part is I use a seaweed body scrub to gently exfoliate the lower leg, and then I'll do the foot and put it back in the foot bath, rinse off, and then I'll do the same on this side. He had quite the callus underneath that pinky toe at the 5th metatarsal head right there, so it looks like I'm going at it pretty hard. I did try and take it down quite a bit, so but again, it was super hard skin, so I wasn't hurting him at all, even though it might appear like I am. Looks like it's pretty rough, but really he could barely feel it. After I'm done with all of this, then I do a massage, and that's the end of the service. So you're going to skip the massage part, and I'm going to get into the before and after. So this is the before and the after. Thank you all for sticking with me to the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see you again next time in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.